a nappy hour. Nappy hour. Nappy hour.
And you're gonna leave me here on my own, and here it goes. I'm just a kid. Welcome back to the Nappy Hour, guys, the place where you tell me all about your fucked up lives and I tell everyone, just like real friends. So open your ears and let me fill them full of shit. Advice. Don't mind my kind of dirty socks. They're a little bit skanky, but I was going to change them, and I thought I don't need to change myself for the Nappy Hour gang, okay? They don't mind if I have skanky socks, right? If you do, then I do have a clean pair over there. But if you can't take me at my stinky skankiest, then you don't deserve me at my best. Baby names. Let's talk about it. Why is it so hard to choose a baby name? You know, well, they're going to have it for the rest of their life unless they get rid of it, which they can do. I knew a boy when I was growing up, I think his name was Callum, and he changed it to Fox when he was like 25. And at first it was really weird. It's like, Fox, sure. But now it's just like, oh yeah, Fox, that's his name. And you forget that he was ever called Callum. Oh, itchy foot. This is why you wash your socks, because you get athlete's foot otherwise. I also struggle with names that have too much of like a connotation to the person that kid has to grow up to be. Does that make any sense at all? For instance, we're watching was it a show yesterday? And this girl was called Tamara. And in my head, it's like, if you name your baby Tamara, she has to look like Megan Fox. She doesn't have a choice. She can't just be like a dweeb, like an ugly dweeb. She has to be this sexy Megan Fox girl with these, she's into tantric sex, she's got these long nails, like that is Tamara for me. I don't know if you ever met a different kind of Tamara, but for me, that is Tamara. And imagining like a baby Tamara, I just can't imagine baby Tamara, because that name is far too sexy. Also, I know a boy called Rock. Luckily, this boy is the coolest kid you've ever met, but thank God he is like that. Sorry, again, you can't be like a dweeb and be called Rock. You can't. They nickname him Rocky. They call him Rocky. But yeah, thank God he's the coolest kid in London, because if he wasn't, he'd be fucked. There was another boy in my school called Stone. And again, this kid was like a rugby player, quite a big, stocky kid, quite good looking as well. I was like one of the handsome boys in his year. He's far below my year. I didn't fancy him, okay? I didn't fancy him, but I could appreciate that he was the hot one in his year, okay? His name was Stone, and I thought, again, thank God you're a hottie. Because if you were, you know, one of the bullied little dweebs called Stone, there's too much room. There's too much room for errors. Want a name where it's like, okay, that kid has to be famous. Otherwise, what? They can't just be a PE teacher, you know? They can't just be a librarian. They have to be a superstar, or else. Instead of me reeling off names that I hate and possibly offending people, I'm gonna instead list off a few names that were on my list, but I'm not going for, and I'll tell you why. So let's get into it, shall we? This podcast is supported by the beautiful Estrella Custom Jewelry, giving you minimal and meaningful personalized pieces. Everything is handmade in Portugal. It's a perfect gift either for yourself or someone that you love. When you go to our website, you can shop the collection and personalize your piece with a pendant, choosing the initial on it and the style as well as a stone. I have the emerald quartz gemstone and I wear it every day. I've got a little pendant that says a W on for Woody. I wear it every day. It's become my favorite staple necklace. It's just so simple. It's classy. It's classic. And I never take it off. Use the code NappyHour15 for 15% off at checkout. First one. Now this, I was sure set that if I had a boy, this was going to be his name, just because it goes so well with Woody. Gus. His actual name would be August, but then we would shorten it to Gus. I just thought it was the cutest name. Gus, like it's so cute. August and Woodrow, or Woody and Gus. Like it goes really well together, but I went off the name just because I can't imagine Gus being like the cool kid in school. I can only imagine him being like the bullied kid. Like that's all I can imagine him being. And I just thought, I don't want to put my child on that trajectory before he's even born, you know? August, I love. Gus, it's cool, but just not for my kid. Orin, for a boy, it's a Cornish name, which I kind of think that's why Zach maybe didn't like it so much. I don't think Zach likes, he's Cornish, by the way. I don't think Zach is that into like Cornish names, just because maybe it reminds me of his childhood. Another Cornish name that's on my list is Lowen. I think Lowen is a beautiful name for a boy. You've got Lowenna for a girl, which I'm not so keen on for some reason. Uma. Again, Uma was actually a name that I was really, really set on before I got pregnant. But then I looked into the meaning of the name Uma, and it means mother. I don't know if I want to put that on my child to be like, you know, like motherly or to be nurturing, because maybe she's not. But I love the name Uma. I think it's simple. I just can imagine her nickname being little ooey gooey. Oh, little gooey ooey, ooey gooey. Like, I just thought it was so cute. Another one, it's kind of old. It's really old, actually. So it's not popular. You never hear it. But again, before I got pregnant, I loved this name, Jetty. I think Jetty is so cute for a girl. Shorten it to Jet. Fucking cool. Rock star. Or Jetty is like, she's academic. She is quite quiet, you know. She's an introvert. But Jet is like, rock and roll. There's room for multiple different types of personalities with Jetty. But the reason I went off it was, again, I looked at the meaning, which maybe it doesn't matter. But for me, I remember as a kid, us all looking at our name meanings and just like being jealous that other kids had like really beautiful meanings for their names. But I looked at the meaning of Jetty, and it derives from the word projectile, to throw. I just thought, you know what? It's cool, but I just don't want my daughter to look up her name and see that it means projectile, you know, projectile vomit. I just don't. Nah. Oh, now this one is a love-hate. Now, I think most people are going to think, what the frickin' hell? But I want you to take the meaning out of the name, okay? Take the meaning out for once. We're not thinking about the meaning. We're just going to think of the word. Lemony. Lemony? Are you kidding me? Lemony Fox. That is fucking cool. I like Lem. I like Lemmy. And I just think Lemony, I can see it written down in like italics on my necklace, little gold necklace that says Lemony. Like, that is fucking cool. Woody and Lem. I love it. But when I said it to Zach, he was like, that's a joke pen name, Lemony Snicket. Because I was like, well, you know, Lemony, he's like, that's not a name. And I was like, well, Lemony Snicket. And he was like, I think that was a pen name as a joke. Which, I mean, now that I think about it, I don't know any Lemonies. So maybe it is a joke. But I just think it's a beautiful word. Also, you know, lemony, like it's like, it gives you like sour vibes, doesn't it? Like, it's like, it tastes a bit lemony. Like, it's not really a good thing when something tastes like lemony. It's like, a bit lemony for me. Do you know what I mean? So that we vetoed that one, but I do love it. So maybe someone else will like it. Next up on the list, Shiloh. I love the name Shiloh. Zach wasn't too keen on it, I think, because it's actually a Hebrew name. It's a Hebrew word, and Zach's Jewish. Again, I don't know if he's that into like Cornish or like really Jewish names, but I just think Shiloh is just such a beautiful word. It means peaceful one. Like hello. It's actually a boy and a girl's name, but for me, in my mind, it's a boy's name. Shiloh. I just think it's so beautiful. But sometimes you have to imagine it like you're shouting this name as well. Shiloh! Shiloh! Like, you know, he's misbehaving in the park. Shiloh! Like, I just can't imagine shouting at Shiloh, but maybe that's a good thing. We should be shouting at our kids anyway, right, guys? What do we think about Sigrid? Do we love it or do we hate it? I kind of love it. I kind of love it, and Zach loved it as well. Sigrid, I think, is cool. She is like an artist. She's feminist. She is a little bit stinky. You know, she's got hairy armpits. She dresses a little bit weird. You know, she's Sigrid. Like, it's just cool. But it also kind of reminds me of Hagrid. Do I want my daughter to be called Hagrid? No, I don't. But Sigrid, I do think is cool. Is there an artist called Sigrid? I think there's a musician called Sigrid, isn't there? Woodrow and Sigrid. I think Sigrid goes really well. But again, because it sounds like Hagrid, I just couldn't. The next name on my list is Tandy for a girl. Tandy, I think, is fucking beautiful. We would spell it like Andy, but with a T with a T at the start. So Tandy. I just love that name. I think it is, in one hand, feminine, but then also another masculine. So there's room for different sorts of personalities, which I like. The only issue with Tandy is my brother had a girlfriend called Tandy. She was actually Zimbabwean, I believe. So it had a different spelling. I think it had the traditional Zimbabwe spelling. But yeah, I just don't know if my brother would be that pleased, because it was a bit of a rocky relationship. I think it ended on bad terms. So then for him to have a niece called Tandy, I don't think he'd be best pleased with that. Fair enough. Florian. Do we love it or do we hate it? I kind of love it. Florian for a boy, I just think is so strong. Florian. I also love Flo. Flo for a boy. That's common for a girl. Obviously, you've got Florence. But Florian. What do we think, guys? I kind of really rate it. Florian Fox would absolutely have been on like my top 3s for a boy, I think, if I was having a boy. Florian. Again, I just love Flo. I think Flo for a boy is so simple. It's so sweet. It's like a gentle hippie. But then Florian is like graphic designer. There's scope for whatever kind of personality Florian wants to have. I don't know how you guys are going to feel about this one. It's not necessarily my personality, but Zach liked it and I kind of liked it. It's more actually the nickname. When this name is shortened, I love, and that is Sydney. Shortened to Sid. I just think Sid for a girl is so cool. Sydney. Do I like Sydney as much as I like Sid? Probably not. I just really like the name Sid, but I feel like Sid, calling your little girl Sid, she just, in case it doesn't suit her or she wants something a little bit more feminine, then that's when Sydney, excuse me, I nearly burped. That's when Sydney comes into play and she can, but is it just like a beach babe girl? Like, is Sydney walking around Blackpool in shit weather, or is she surfing on a beach in a bikini with her wavy blonde hair, smoking joints and hanging out with boys on the park? I think that's where Sydney needs to be. She doesn't need to be in Blackpool. She needs to be in Australia. So we're going to leave her over there. I love this name, but I can't use it because of my last name. So I love the name Wilder. I think Wilder is so cool. It's a really old-fashioned name, similar to Woodrow. Woodrow is actually a really old-fashioned American name, I believe, and Wilder is the same. But when you shorten it, it's Wild. My last name is Fox, Wild Fox. That is too much room for bullying, I'm afraid. So vetoed that. I also don't think Zach likes it. Wilder. Again, you can't shout it. Wilder! Wilder! You just sound like a bit of a prick. Another one I can't use because of my last name, Forrest. But I love the name Forrest. It's gender neutral, but for me, Forrest is a girl's name. Just because I grew up in a school and there was a girl, maybe the year below me or the year below that even, and her name was Forrest. And it just logged in my brain. And I always thought that is the coolest name. You can't shorten it. She wasn't Foz or Fo or Fossy. She was Forrest. And I just love that. But Forrest Fox. You can't have a Forrest Fox, annoyingly. Bellamy. Bellamy? Are you joking me? Bellamy. How beautiful is that? It reminds me of like a vampire. Like in that kind of, like Victoria, like when were vampires made? I don't know. I just imagine her to live in a castle. She's gothic. She's got black long hair and red lipstick, and she's got black nails, and her name's Bellamy. My only issue with Bellamy is I don't love the nickname Bella for my daughter. There's, again, too many connotations. I know so many Bellas, and Zach's dead dog is actually called Bella. So there's another connotation that we'd really rather avoid. I love Bellamy. And if I could guarantee that she was Bellamy or Belly, no problem. She would be Bellamy. But I just know her mates at school are going to call her Bella. And that is going to piss me off every single day. This is my favourite boy name. And I was really, really grappling with, if this was a boy baby, not being able to call him this name because, again, my last name. So, Redford. What a lovely name. Shortened to Red. Cool. Cool. Red Fox. Not cool. Red Fox. Not okay. There was a boy in my year called Redford and everyone called him Red. And it was just, I always thought that is a fucking fit name. That is so cool. Redford. It's classic. It's uncommon. It's actually quite traditional. Like Redford is quite a traditional old name. But Red is sick. Just not Red Fox. So there you go. You can have that one if anyone is thinking of a boy name, but they don't know what kind of boy name they want. Maybe it's Redford. Or maybe it's not. Maybe you fucking hate it. Fair enough. Last name on the list, and I'm heartbroken about this name because I wanted a girl so badly with my first baby because I was so set on this name and I was so close trying to twist it to being a gender neutral name, but it just isn't. It's definitely a girl's name, and that is Juno. Juno. What a beautiful name. I really, really wanted Woody to be called Juno. Now, after having a boy, calling him Woody, I have met so many Junos. And I'm assuming it's come back around into popularity because of the movie when we were younger. But I still think that name is so cute, so cool, so beautiful. I love the meaning. It's a goddess, a protector of women. Like, are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? The protector of women? Like, oh my God, imagine looking up the meaning of your name and seeing that. You'd be like, oh my God, I'm the protector of women. Having said that, me saying I don't like Uma because of mother, but still, it just, I don't know. Juno just sounds badass. It's like a goddess. Like, hello, Juno. And again, I like that you can't really shorten it. Junie? Nah. No. Juno. It's Juno. She's Juno. And that's all she'll ever be. And what a wonderful, wonderful name. What a wonderful girl Juno is. But it's not my daughter. Some of the names that me and Zach really disagreed on. He has really strange taste in names. The fact that we have agreed on like Woodrow and Woody and then this baby's name is shocking to me because the names that he comes up with is honestly a joke. So number one, no offense to any Ingmars out there. I'm sure there's some wonderful, wonderful Ingmars, but just not in my womb. There's not an Ingmar in my womb. Same with Ursula. He really likes the name Ursula. To me, it just means the scary sea monster lady at the bottom of the ocean in Little Mermaid. Ursula is way too severe for a baby. If I'm meeting Ursula, I can imagine her as an older woman. She's like, this really strong character, Ursula, but she's also a little bit scary, She's like a brutal powerhouse and, love that for her, but just not for this baby right now. What else did he he really loved the name for a boy. He loves the name Jan. No, Jan for a boy. Sure, if it didn't have connotations of like Grandma Jan, then sure, but there's too many nans called Jan. Janet, no. Absolutely not. What other ones did he like? Rasputin! He likes the name Rasputin. Genuinely. He made me pinky promise that he genuinely likes the name Rasputin. If you think for 1 second I am having this baby at the start of World War III with the word Putin in their name, you are having a fucking bubble. Absolutely not. Are you on drugs? No. Veto. Absolutely not. Rasputin. He was like, we can short it to Raz. No, or we could short it to Putin. Absolutely fucking not. One name I really liked and he just couldn't get on board with, which was weird because he liked the name Jan, was Jeannie for a girl. I think Jeannie for a girl is so cute. There was, again, a girl in my year called Jeannie, but he just didn't like that it was kind of like Jean. And in our family, there is someone called Jean. So fair enough. This episode is supported by Nomcos, my favourite natural skincare brand. They started out with just lip balms, but have since expanded their range to face oils, deodorant, body butter, soaps. It's become your one-stop shop for natural self-care. If you look at the ingredients, you'll see there's no shit in it. It's all simple, whole ingredients that you can pronounce. And there's max like 5 things in a product. I could eat it if I needed to. I'm not going to. But I'm just saying, if I had to, I could. You know, when World War III breaks out, I'm not going hungry when I have my big tub of Nomcos body butter. I don't think I can legally recommend that you do that. But just saying, if you ran out of beans and bread during a lockdown, you ain't starving with Nomcos around. That should be their new slogan. Nomcos, good enough to eat. Please don't eat it. But if you did, you're not going to die. I've been using their deodorant for months now. It comes in a little pot and I've only used a tiny amount. So the full pot should last me at least a year. You only need a pea-sized amount. It goes on so smoothly and genuinely works. Throughout this pregnancy, I've been using their body and bump butter. It's all I've been using all over my body. I lather up like a salmon every night and I wake up so smooth. Naturally, I am a crusty girl. I don't know why. I drink loads of water, but I'm just a crusty, dusty girl. So this has changed my life and it's great to know, you know, there's no nasty ingredients. It's good shit that's going on my skin. So use my code Miranda10 for 10% off at checkout. That's Miranda10 for 10% off at checkout. On that note, guys, I think it's time to get stuck into some dilemmas. Shall we do it? This mommy says, I was with my ex for 4 years. We had a little girl. We have a little girl. We have a little girl who's 3. We got pregnant very quickly and engaged very fast. I tried to make it work for our little girl, but we separated when she was 1. I wasn't dating anyone else. I assumed he wasn't dating anyone else and just carried on working on our family, trying to co-parent. In this time, he got suspended from work for sexual allegations from another member of staff, which he denied, and I wanted to support him because of his mental health. It was really bad. I didn't stand by him, but I didn't berate him because I just knew he was struggling. We moved back in together in August to try and patch things up, but after 3 weeks, it was clear it just wasn't going to work. He moved back out, and a month later, I met the partner I am with now, who is amazing and loving and everything I've ever wanted. When my ex found out about him, he called me up and told me he had slept with 2 friends and named them. I kind of laughed it off and just thought, whatever, yeah, you wouldn't do that. I just think, okay, this is the ramblings of a madman who's butthurt because I have found someone else. Obviously, my friends wouldn't do that to me. ... Oh no. I reached out to friend number 1 and it turns out it was completely true. They had had a full-blown affair when our daughter was 6 months old. This woman is literally my daughter's godmother, so that was really hard for me to decide whether or not to keep her in my life. The other friend just turned it around on me and blamed me. What, you're blaming me for you sleeping with my partner? But basically, my dilemma is now that we have both moved on, we have our own partners, he won't tell me anything about his girl, not her name or anything, though she has access to my child. Absolutely, abso-frickin-fruitly not. His family are horrible to me when I pick her up and they don't let me come in. They say mean things about me and ignore me. And he says, everything he did to me in the time we were together, I deserved because I then met someone else who is having contact with my daughter. So how do I deal with his toxic family situation where I am being treated as the bad one that has done all these horrible things? Also, I forgot to mention, when he lost his head because I'd started seeing this new man, he fucked off to the Bahamas for 2 weeks. Who is actually going on holiday to the Bahamas? It's like something that you hear, but no one actually does it, do they? Going to the Bahamas? How do you get to the Bahamas? So he leaves you in the shit with childcare, fucks off for 2 weeks without any notice or worry about you. And then his new girlfriend is traveling around Australia for 6 months. So he's going to join her for a portion of the holiday. A portion. What is a portion? And he's also planning on going to Japan. So there's zero regard for what is going on with our daughter. How do I handle this? I've done my nutting trying to make this relationship work for the sake of our daughter because I came from a broken home and I thought I'd be fucking her up if I did the same. But him and his family are treating me like garbage and maybe I should have just trusted my gut and not wasted my time. It's so frustrating how like the well-being of the family always falls on the woman. That's how it feels, right? And no matter how hard you fight for it, if it crumbles in some way, somehow it's your fault. The level of betrayal that you have experienced is more than most people experience in their lifetime. Like, can you actually believe that? First, your partner's being unfaithful, but the layers of it being your best friend, because obviously, like, say when you are struggling in your relationship, you're probably going to these friends and being like, oh God, we're not so good, like struggling, he's being this, he's doing this, blah, blah, blah. And you're confiding in these friends and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, babe. 1 second, let me just go and fuck your partner and then I'll come back and make you a cup of tea, yeah? Like the level, is this a soap opera? Like what is going on? Like my bestie has just given birth 6 months ago. Her placenta is still warm. Her organs are still moving back into their original position. And I am meant to go and have an affair with her partner, the one that is causing my best friend grief in this moment. I just don't understand the fact that you are not in jail for murdering these girls. If that was me, they would be capital D dead. Also, if that was me and my son, sorry, but I would absolutely be blocking contact with my partner until I have met and vetted the new partner. With my ex-partner. So if Zach, for instance, got a new partner but was refusing to let me meet her, sorry, you are not getting to have contact with your son, because I need to make sure this girl is not a pedo psychopath. Like that is my job as a mum, to protect this child, and no one that I don't know is coming around my child. The fact that Zach wouldn't understand why I, as the mother, would want to protect our child, our joint child, from any abuse or terrible situations or weirdos or anything is just so weird. Like, why would you not just want to prove to your ex-partner that this person is fine for your child to be around? It's just weird. Like, what is he hiding? It's like he knows that she's a fucking weirdo and just doesn't want you to see it. Also, not having access to the space in which your child is going to be staying in, I think is totally wrong. You should be able to go in and make sure there's food in the fridge, there's a safe place for your child to sleep. Like the fact that you aren't even allowed into the space, that's red flags for me. Like my child is not going into any place that I cannot see as safe. Even his nursery, like I drop him off and I go in and I see that it's like a safe, nice place for kids. Those settling in sessions that we had, where I had like 4 or 5 or 6 settling in sessions with him. And that was my opportunity to go in and make sure that this is a safe place for my child to be in. And they're not allowing you that. I was going to say privilege. It's not a privilege. It's a right. They're not allowing you that right to make sure that your child is safe. They're just like, trust us. Why don't you trust us? Well, I don't trust you because you're treating me like fucking shit, mate. I think for too long, like you have been the nice one, right? You've been trying to appease him, not wanting to rile him up, wanting to like work together to co-parent, you know, the right way for our child. But actually, like, no one's thinking about you here. You're thinking about everyone else. No one's thinking about you. Who's making you comfortable here in this situation? No one gives a fuck about you, not your friends and not him. So why are you then appeasing everyone else? I think some people would maybe think that's a terrible advice to cut contact. I think maybe, you know, until obviously I'm not saying cut contact forever, but until he sits down and introduces you to this girl and stops making your life so difficult, I would cut contact. Some people might say that is bad advice and you are opening up a can of worms and blah, blah, blah. But I'd say, this is my child, bring in the fucking worms. Open that can up, baby. I do not care. What you could do, and maybe you've already done this, but suggest family mediation. So you can cut contact with him and the child, and until you've had those family mediation sessions. So it's not like you aren't working towards finding a resolution, but I think clearly he is not. So maybe cutting contact is going to be that carrot on the end of the stick to make him think, okay, I need to actually make this work now. So I need to go to these family mediation sessions with you and maybe then your partners and maybe even his family to come to some sort of resolution on how to make it work for everyone, not just them. Could he imagine if someone was treating his daughter the way that he was treating you? Could he imagine that for a second? Contrary to what a lot of men out there believe, having a child doesn't make you a dad. You know, being a dad does not stop at the child. It extends to how you treat the mother, because that child is watching that. You are creating a blueprint for how that child, A, is going to be treated by other people, but B, treats their partner and other people. You know, if you are out here cheating on your baby mum, icing her out, making her life difficult, not respecting her, then sorry, you are not a good dad. You cannot be a good dad and do all of those things because you're treating this child's mother like shit. Part of my role as a mother to my son is treating my husband with love and respect and support. That is part of my role as a mum. It doesn't just stop at my child, it extends to the whole family. The only thing that you've done wrong in this situation is just not appreciating your worth sooner. But I'm so sorry that you're stuck with this bullshit fucking man-child. What a fucking prick. Also, as his girlfriend, like, sorry, you're a fucking weirdo if you don't want to meet. If you're trying to like avoid meeting this woman, he's probably fed you loads of lies. Like, she's a psycho, she's this, she's that, she's horrible, blah, 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 blah. Like, sorry, but as women, we need to just read through the lines a little bit. And if any boy turns around and says, my ex is a psycho, you think, okay, well, how did we get to this point? Why is she so psychotic? What did you do to her to make her this way? But also, it's like when you get into a relationship with someone with a child, you know, okay, listen, it is my responsibility to make the mum's life easy here. I am the next woman. I am in the child's life, hopefully. And I want to make that transition easy for everyone. But it looks like everyone's just being super selfish, not thinking of the child at all and not thinking of the mum. Ugh, next. I've been a decaf girl for years now. I can't handle the anxiety. I can't handle what it does to my skin. But truth be told, I miss those caffeine poos. I miss feeling alert and ready to go. So when I heard about London Nootropics, I thought, surely not. Surely not. A coffee that has added adaptogens that prevent the cortisol spike found in normal coffees, e.g. the thing that makes you feel like your world is caving in and everyone hates you and your stomach is about to explode. But you still get the benefits of caffeine, e.g. the ability to get out of bed and feel alive after 10 wake-ups in the night. Thank you to your wonderful child. Or if you're pregnant like me and you are weeing every 15 minutes in the night. Oh, and you also have an almighty poo that sets you up for the day. I can't be the only person that is obsessed with their morning poo, can I? If I don't have a fulfilling morning poo, I will obsess over it for the rest of the day. It's going to be trouble. So I like to know before I leave the house that is done. And with London Nootropics, you can guarantee an almighty poo, but with no anxiety. I recognise I'm going for the niche market here by talking about almighty poos, but I assume that everyone loves a good poo in the morning, no? London Nootropics, get it while it's hot. When I say this coffee tastes like coffee, but it smells like chocolate, I feel like that's the only way I can describe it. It smells so good. It is the peak of my morning. When I get up, I just know I've got that cup of mojo waiting for me downstairs. And it's the only thing that's going to get me out of bed. Oh, that, and obviously my child needs me. Use my code MirandaFox20 at checkout for 20% off. Hi Miranda and mum friends, I'm writing from Portugal. Love the podcast. My 4-year-old slept in his bassinet/crib since he was a few weeks old. When he'd wake up, I get out of bed, feed him and walked around the room for 30 plus minutes, oosh, until he was asleep to put him down again. After doing that, every 1 to 2 hours for a year, we opted to sleep train him. Now he sleeps independently in his own room all night long. But I was very grumpy, sleep-deprived mama for almost 2 years. Now I have a 9-month-old and my PTSD from years of sleep deprivation means my baby is still in our bed, co-sleeping with me and my husband in the middle of our bed. I'm so anxious to try and crib train her because right now I can just roll over and feed her and sleep, and I'm actually getting some sleep. My husband has been gently nudging me to put her in the cot, but I'm honestly too scared to not sleep again. He says he misses me and I miss our evenings too, but I'm just too anxious to put her down. What should I do? Suck it up and become a sleep-deprived monster, but make my husband happy? Or let her stay in bed until who knows when. By the way, my husband is on duty for our 4-year-old who does wake up 2 to 3 times a night, at least 2 times a week. So he's 100% responsible for tending to our 4-year-old. He works full time and I am at home with the baby. Firstly, I just want to say I fully support co-sleeping. Do what you got to do. And I'm really, really happy for you that you are not having to get your 10K steps in between 1 and 4 a.m. in the night. Like, go you, do what you got to do. Also to say, I'm also really pro sleep training. I think it's people feel like they have to be one or the other. And it's really not like that. What works for you and your family. And again, you do what you got to do. If you get to the point where you are so sleep deprived, try sleep training. It might not work for every parent and baby. That I know some babies that just would not react very well to that. And that's fine. So co-sleeping is the answer. Yeah, if you have one of those kids that does respond well to sleep training, like my son did, then perfect. I support you. I personally did not co-sleep, so I can't necessarily talk on my experience of like transitioning from co-sleeping to sleeping in a crib or a bed in their own room, because Woody was always in his own crib. So I'm very lucky in that sense. Surely there's got to be some like grey area, like a medium area in between you being a sleep deprived monster versus you co-sleeping. Is there not a way in which you could try it very slowly and very gently? The baby goes from sleeping in between you guys to a crib that is physically attached to the bed. Then once the baby's adjusted to that, then we just scooch them away a little bit. And then we just keep on scooching until the crib is out the bedroom and in their own room. One thing I can talk on is that transition from going from being in your room to another room, because before we moved here to this house, we were living in a 1-bed flat and Woody was in a cot in the other side of the room. The other side of the room, I mean, it's a fucking tiny room, but you know, he's just away from the bed. And then we moved to this house and he immediately went into his own room in a big bed. And gotta say, that transition was harder than I thought it was. I don't know. I didn't really expect that there would be any issue because he was used to sleeping so well in his cot. I didn't really know there would be an issue with him moving into his own room. But it took a little while for him to stop crying through the night and asking for us and being scared and all the rest of it. And now he does sleep great. Well, actually, he's going through a bit of a regression now. Is anyone else going through this with their 3 to 4-year-olds where they're just up in the night? Weirdly, like what is going on? I do wonder if it's a wee, if he needs a wee in the night. So maybe we should think about training him to like go for a wee in the night and then putting him back in bed. Maybe I'll try that actually. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, sleep training. So all that being said, if you try it and it doesn't work, that's fine. It's not like there's no going back. It's not like you try it now, we've got to stick to it. It's not like we can't ever co-sleep again. If you try it and suddenly the baby is screaming and you are sleep deprived, you're having a terrible, terrible, terrible time, you tried it for a week or whatever, then just sack it off. Bring that baby back into bed. You know, sometimes I think like our partners we can forget why we've made a certain decision. But obviously, like if you are sleep deprived, your husband's also going to be sleep deprived because he can't exactly sleep with a screaming baby in the room, can he? So he's going to be awake as well. He might not be the one doing the steps and the breastfeeding, but he is going to be awake. And he's also going to be the one that's dealing with a sleep deprived monster, your words, not mine, monster of a wife. So maybe we need to just remind him why we've made the decision to do what we're doing and why this is actually the easier and better option for the whole family. So you can be like, oh, you know, you miss me at night, do you, baby? You miss our evenings. Okay, honey, let's give it a go. And you give it a go and maybe it doesn't work. And then he's smashed back into reality and that baby's back in between you. Is it not a way in which like you could just move the bed so that one side's up against the wall and then I'm sure if you could have done this, you would have done it. But then you can cuddle him and the baby's against the wall, safe and sound. Is that a thing? Maybe not. Maybe not. Otherwise, you probably would have done that. My friend has recently gone through this transition. So she was in the situation with quite a young baby where she would have to feed him to sleep and she couldn't move for the rest of the evening. That was her night. And she was I remember talking to her like, you know, I really miss my evenings. I'm sick of going to bed at 8 p.m. I want to spend the evenings with my partner. And guess what? A few months later, that's exactly the situation. They have made the decision to try it. It's worked. And now she still, I think, probably feeds to sleep. But she rolls away and she leaves the little baby in the bed and she goes and has her evening and then she comes back and he's safe and sound. So, you know, what is your situation now in a few months' time basically is not going to be your situation. You know, things are constantly changing. I can totally understand your anxiety though about fucking it up. You had this issue and co-sleeping fix the issue? Like, why would we want to fuck that up and change it up? Yes, we miss our evenings together, but is that a small price to pay for a rested mum? I would say so. And it's important to just remind yourself that nothing's forever. That's what I tell myself in the mornings after me and Zach have had a shit night's sleep because Woody's come in and wanted cuddles and sat in our bed, jumping on our feet, asking for milk and all the rest of it. I tell myself, listen, this will not last forever. One day I will be wishing that my son would come in and give me a cuddle and ask for a bottle of milk and want to spend the night with me. And he's going to be 15 and he's going to fucking hate me. Well, as soon as you become parents, like we're all on like this ticking timer to our children slowly hating us and finding us embarrassing. And right now it feels like a really long time away, but it ain't. It's a few years. You've got a few years before your child starts to hate you. Just soak it in. We've got our whole life to cuddle our husband, but we've only got a few years to cuddle our kids. And what a sincere way to end that dilemma. But true. Next. I need to vent about something that's driving me absolutely mental, and I don't know if I'm being unreasonable or if my husband is being a knobhead. So, I've been with my husband for 8 years, married for 4. We've got 2 kids under 5. Before kids, I was pretty good at keeping on top of hair, legs, underarms, bikini line, the works. It was just part of the routine. Fast forward to now, and obviously I'm not so bothered. The problem is my husband keeps making these passive-aggressive comments, not even trying to be subtle about it. In bed, he actually recoiled when he touched my legs and said, "When did you last shave your legs? When did you last shave your legs, honey? Probably never." I proper lost it at him. He said I was being dramatic and that it's just basic hygiene. Leg hair is... What? It's not basic hygiene, okay? It's actually more hygienic to have hair. Thank you, Harry. As if having body hair makes me dirty or something. I shower every day. I wear deodorant. I brush my teeth. Sorry, having hair is not going to give anyone cholera, okay? So pipe down. I actually don't mind being a bit fuzzy. It's quite liberating not worrying about it all the time. Absolutely, yes it is. But now I feel self-conscious and unsexy and like I'm failing at being a proper wife or whatever. My sister said I should just book a wax and be done with it, but that's £60 I don't have and 2 hours I definitely don't have. Plus, why should I have to when he's walking around looking like a werewolf? Am I being gross or is he in the wrong? Why would having a normal amount of body hair be gross? I don't get it. One of my biggest icks in men is when they are creeped out by body hair. Are you a pedo? Do you want to go fuck a 12-year-old or something? What's going on? Because guess what? I'm a woman and women have body hair. If you actually think about it, body hair should be like the ultimate sign of womanliness, right? But boys just get creeped out by it and they're like, that's not what the porn stars look like. My favourite porn star doesn't have a hairy bum. If he wants hairless legs, then maybe he can shave them for you because you are too busy keeping his children alive. Boys that like hairless girls, a quick question for you. Are you paying for it? Are you paying for it though? Because last time I checked, that expense falls on me. Are you paying for nice razors? Are you paying for wax? Are you paying for skincare treatment to make sure I don't get ingrown hairs all the time? Like, are you covering that bill? Because last time I checked, no, you weren't. Me and my husband actually spoke about this recently because my friend was in this exact same predicament. And he was like, well, it's just preference, isn't it? It's just preference. Like you like it when I shave my shaft. No, honey, listen, you shaving your pubic shaft once in a while is not the same as a girl, the amount of hair removal that a girl has to do in her lifetime. It just doesn't. It's a constant battle for women to keep on top of their hair removal. We've got the upper and lower legs. We've got the asshole. We've got the gooch. We've got the full vag, labia, all the little creases. We've got the armpits. We've got the mustache. We've got the eyebrows. Like, sorry, it is not the same as you shaving your pubic shaft once in a while. And if you've ever tried to shave your pubes while pregnant, shout out to you because I was trying that last night and it is a dangerous sport. I nearly went into labour shaving my bush for Zach last night. Actually, it wasn't for Zach. It was more for me because it was getting a little bit itchy down there, to be honest. But I'm very lucky that my partner does not mind hair. He just takes me as I am. He's just grateful to be there. And so he should be. But isn't it weird that I feel lucky to have a guy like that? Like, why is it even a thing? It's not like Zach walks around and feels lucky for me still licking his cream hole, even though it's covered in bum pubes. Like, he doesn't, it's expected. He doesn't think about it, you know, he doesn't have to think about it. Whereas I feel grateful for having a boy that will accept me, even though I'm hairy. Like, what? That's so fucking weird. The hygiene comment is just bizarre, to be honest. The fact that you can get to the ripe old age of 30 something, probably, I'm guessing, and he not know that actually hair is more hygienic than no hair is just bizarre to me. He needs a biology lesson for one, but like, aren't you scared that he is your emergency contact? I would be scared, especially after birthing his children. Like, come on, you've seen worse things than a little bit of leg hair, hun. All right. I know exactly what you see when I'm giving birth, and it's much worse than my hairy legs. So maybe you just need a quick lesson in the patriarchy. I love having pubes, to be honest. It makes me feel well sexy. I feel like a woman. I feel like a sexy European woman when I have my pubes. Not too long, because that's just uncomfortable, but I do like a little bush. Shout out to the women that do like being clean shaven. It's fair enough, but as long as you're doing it for you and not for them, you know, that I think is the difference. I don't care what you do with your pubes. You do whatever you want with your pubes, as long as you're doing it for you and not a man. And on that note, guys, we're going to leave it right there. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for the mums who sent in their dilemmas, and keep sending them in over on the Nappy Hour Pod Instagram. I'll be over there. And thank you to the lovely brands who are supporting this podcast. A study actually showed recently that by supporting small female founded businesses, you can increase your life expectancy by 20 years. And who doesn't want that? Support the brands, shop local. And you can also support me directly by following the link in the description box and heading to my Buy Me a Coffee page. You can donate the price of a coffee or more. No one said you couldn't do more, but anything is appreciated. I will see you next week. I love you very much.